When do you think about the nini?
Yeah.
The iteration.
Yeah, like well, siku but like rappers to use samples, so it's more or less like a sample. But back to the exact tunes,
tweak kidogo, but you can tell.
You can tell. Yeah, which is clever ones. Lazima ukona ka nile chidase.
Hakuna cha subliminal hapa, sio kwa particular. What you wish you are is what we are. Kila mara kushock the culture, jadish how deep you are, how sick you are.
Niaje sana kwa sana album reviews. Karibu sana kwa another album review. Shukran sana for being here. If you're a returning subscriber, I'm a viewer. Asante for the continued support. Kama ni mara yako ya kwanza, karibu sana to the channel. Najua perhaps because of the album we are about to get into, because of the artist tuko about to review. Shukran sana na hukukona up until the end, na ushare pia sentiments zako kuhusu the album that you are about to get into. As the video title inasema, hii ni an album review by MC Sharon. Album yake ya sita, project yake ya sita. This follows album yake ya 2018, Gems, Genetically Emancipated Musical Soul. Alafu 4 years later, almost 4 years later, that was towards the end of 2018. In January of 2022, amedrop The Last Will and Testament. Tukifanyanga hizi reviews, our criteria wana aspects tatu: production na musicality, concept na idea, na the content and themes of a project. Kakangu mpendwa. Umeandika notes me? Yo. Unasoma novel.
I didn't do me. I'm ready for the review.
You're
gonna touch and go notes.
Wewe ulipendaje kuhusu project ya MC Sharon aka Decibel aka Al-Shabaab aka Mama Yao?
First, interesting to note, you umesema a previous project umesema Gems, like the E I may abbreviate in brackets TLWAT. So like it's interesting that anapenda the acronym, like
your style.
Your style, but it's just interesting. Now the Last Will and Testament, from my initial reaction, yes, my impression, because of the titling, I think gonna feel this would be a project iko some urgency to it, because like Last Will and Testament is saying your piece, like it is as it says, the Last Will and Testament. Nikianza kusikiza, like now the project as a whole, comparing the project title, nili feel MC Sharon aliweza kufanya what she had, like kile alikuwa anajaribu kuendea, but pia it felt a bit staggered in terms of it felt like it needed to be more succinct, because the project itself the album itself has 21 songs. Yeah, 21 songs. It's quite a number. To some extent in Africa, like I understand the fact that sometimes with a project, kama ukona like if you decide to stick to a theme, like the repetitive nature of like themes zitajirudia, but pia zinajirudia like just because there's some things that if you're going to speak about, they're going to repeat in the project, but there's a way if kuna vile inaweza rudiwa ikutoe outside, like una feel okay, like maybe ingekuwa more succinct, like iko na direct punches. With the project itself, really can kusikiza from the website, iko na like forward.
Zero albums.
Forward.
Unasema zero hivyo pia.
Well, even na mimi nilichukulia, lakini nilisoma sasa hiyo forward after nimesikiza project kiasi. I was like, interesting. Like it's interesting kama the opening song, Soundscapes. At first, like nikisikiza get the Soundscapes. It's like an artist, but like no Soundscapes. I found that interesting. It's when I get like it's very at the very least, like kuna he acha like with the forward.
Oh, that thing is that long.
Yeah, it's quite
Niko shamba tumia hapo gani?
Yeah, manze.
It's that long.
Yeah, it's
the
forward is really song.
Zi.
Acha jazo sana. Afterwards.
Enye ni forward basi.
Forward.
Hapa avoid just sitaki msanii aniambie kazi yake ni kuhusu nini.
So ningesema overall in terms of lyrically, singers, like I would not say it's not wordplay heavy. It's not like it's more story based, and it's very direct rap ile ina tell a story. Like yeah, kuna moments ile ana go off kiasi, but it's not extreme patterned technique. But throughout the project, and I mentioned like she had long stay in the game. So I was, in terms of technique, like I would have wanted more, considering vile kuza anasema the number of years there she's been doing this, like you know, like, but then again, someone's technique can't. I'm not sure if it's a technique thing, but it's something nearly find. I wish ingekuwa more, ingekuwa tighter. Kwa hivyo tumesema like I found the project nini hiyo ilikuwa na the overall vibe yake with the soundstage kind of vibe. Yeah. So this the project for me stood out because it considering the project peak on your lockdown feel, and now after reading the forward, like I mentioned the project she worked on during your period. Kuna like a song imeandika during the height COVID, ingine akaandika just I think it's 3 days after the song, 3 days after George Floyd alimadwa.
So say my name.
Yeah, say my name. Yeah. So it's a very reactionary
What do you
piece
think
of art.
about the nini?
Yeah.
The
Say my name.
the iteration.
Yeah, say my name. Like, well, because it's true. I'm but like rappers use samples, so it's more or less like a sample. But I've back to the exact tunes.
Tweak kidogo, but you can tell.
Yeah, you can tell. Yeah, which is clever. Lazima ukona ka nilileta nilipenda pia vile ilikuwa na a lot of the loop. But I wish, as usual, I knew what was being said. I would ningependa sana kusikia what the artist is talking about. I don't think I have anything else to say in terms of the music production. nilifind ka soundstage vile inaanza, soundstage kind of vibe vile inaanza na audio clip, and the audio clip hata like nikisikiza the audio clip niweze kusikia vizuri, like na turn up volume kabisa, but as soon as beat inaanza, the beat inakuwa so much louder than the audio clip, inakuwa bit jarring. So nilifind kulikuwa na places like haikuwa the audio haikuwa ni throughout, haikuwa imesetiwa ni throughout, but yeah, and then for the beats weren't really they didn't really appeal to me, but kuna vile she worked with them appropriately to some extent, but then again with her technique, like she worked with them appropriately to her extent. Yeah.
First thing that we noticed getting into this project was time alikuwa anai promo sometime last year, last year, then the date alikipa may postpone up until this point in January last month. But when I saw the cover and the title, ilini intrigue just seeing you the last will and testament. Ikona sitaki kusema feeling ominous, lakini ikona a finality to it. So nilikuwa curious sana kusikiza that kind of mood and idea from the album based on the title. The other thing, now when ilitoka nikaangalia the track list, nikiscroll kwa the website, nikacheki it's 21 songs long. Kwanza nikachoka tu. Rappers 21 songs. Hey.
Was Doshi alive?
What happened to who killed mixtapes? Who killed mixtapes?
Lyrics ni mingi sana.
Urapaz na nini kwa mixtapes, alafu album ikwe concise na brief, but at the length nikachikivi track list ikanitoa nguvu, nikasema ni sawa, tuta pull through. But that ilifanya nika realize apart from the acronym style that ametumia for this album, pia in the previous album had 20 songs too. And I'm just wondering why is MC Sharon insistent on dropping these lengthy
projects,
albums like this. Part of me ilikuwa na feel maybe alikuwa na mention something to do with urgency, na maybe Kenya alikuwa ana pursue kwa the album, but hiyo ni kitu ndi notice coming from Gems. That one pia ilikuwa 71 minutes, EP ni 71 minutes, and the album in itself
long.
It's a full length.
Yeah. And like
So ina ilikuwa 21 songs lakini 71 minutes. The idea, I think tunaipata from the beginning of the album, hiyo ngoma ya kwanza soundstage kind of vibe. The audio clip ni excerpt ya Nina Simone. It's a famous, especially you quote here, role ya artist na to reflect the times. It's a famous clip that has been used and imekuwa reproduced by different people all across the world, and that clip inatupatia the sort of direction that MC Sharon atatake for the project. Jupia akiongea towards after that clip imeisha, akianza kurap, akintroduce the album, anasema the same thing, vitu zime happen during time ya COVID-19, na yeye kukua indoors, watu kukua under lockdown, and then stating that najua mmekuwa mkiuliza niko wapi, nimekuwa happen, and setting that tone from the start thematically. And then the rest of the songs, kuna songs that touch upon your idea kukua in lockdown, and yeye mwenyewe kukaa by themselves na kucontemplate. Kuna line anasema hizi ni ini result ya mi kukaa by myself na thoughts nimekuwa nikihave in my room etc. Then the ideas surrounding COVID na the country, of course kutaka mean stories za politics na leadership. Hata kuna one of those songs that samples, I think ni Bandi Corona, ina sample ile clip ya Mutai Kagwe COVID ikianza akiambia watu wa act accordingly. msi act normally bring towards the end, but the idea za what was happening in 2020 especially, then stories za racism na how imekuwa institutionalized for years in America, stories za anti-blackness as a word that MC Sharon anatumia kwa ngoma kama Say My Name that I've mentioned. And these concepts zina come up definitely when you speak about watu kukaa indoors kama ni lockdown, ama stories za curfews na quarantine. Kuna stories za gender based violence zile zina come up, ngoma kama Stop What You're Doing inaiongelea hizi states zile women and families na children wanajipata in. Similarly on gender matters, stories za single mothers comes in kwa Aliwara, building from Kwisha aki part ways na partner wake and ana connect the idea to the following song. So kuna a number of ideas na thoughts that MC Sharon ana choose kuandika about that are not necessarily tied to the lockdown per se, lakini kuna those ideas that come up that speak about the same. The sound here ni a collage of different things. Kuna your boom bap beats that unapata, and tuka why the caged bird sings, ikona that feeling. And other songs pia later kwa the album kuna trap songs heavy kwa the bass lines na 808s. Brothers Keeper is an example. Kuna trap soul, you have beats with a southern bounce na a southern kind of hip hop feel. Ukona hata afrobeat kwa song number 2 Woza that follows your intro, soundscapes kind of vibe. Kuna different fields anacheza nazo, kuna afrobeats, afropop. So all of these sounds ndio tunasikia kwa this album as a soundscape that MC Sharon uses for moments zake za reflection na kushare thoughts zake na sisi. Now listening to the way the idea in a flow, nilikuwa vile nimesema nahisi that haikukuwa na a concise thought process, a precise narrative where tunahisi this is completely about moment ya reflection ama reflecting the times, while kuna instances and several moments that some songs speak to the same as a whole happen. And when I got to the title track, song number 20 song number 20, nilikuwa nasikiza najiambia, so we've taken 19 songs for us to get to this point, kusema something that isn't in any way connected with these other songs that zimei precede. Juu hivyo ndio nilikuwa na feel nikiangalia the concept na jinsi the songs zina flow. Juu the Last Will and Testament, idea ya kifo chake na kile anataka happen kwa mazishi yake, hataki watu fulani, hataki such activities, that concept nilikuwa naisikia and I didn't get how ilikuwa ina tie to the entire album. And that entire journey through these 19 other songs haikufeel worthwhile. Nilihisi played sana nikiisikiza na sikufeel we needed the entire journey to say kile ali-communicate for the Last Will and Testament, which is the title track. Apart from that, kuna the repetition yenye umeongelea. Kuna some instances where the repetition ilikuwa favorable, and nasema hivi with especially one song in mind, Why the Caged Bird Sings. Namcomment for the song structure hiyo ngoma, and ilikuwa one of my highlights for the song structure, and then pia the instrumentation. Juu after that intro with Nina Simone and then MC Sharon kurap, then Woza with the high life Afrobeat vibe, then the following song Onge Which Quote with a different sound. Mimi album kwangu ilianzia Why the Caged Bird Sings. hiyo na tangazo maalum nilifeel zilikuwa filler songs na very unnecessary, though na recognize kuna concept fulani alikuwa anasema I want to go back home, imekuwa long since I did the same, but siku understand if ilikuwa literal na tuna undergo a journey or if ni figurative and the concept ya kutumia hata a high life afrobeat kind of feeling na atmosphere for the song. Juu at some point kwa ongea which quote anasema nimefika nyumbani na amefika dala, hata anaanza kuongea kijaka. So nilikuwa najiuliza, is this literal ama ni figurative? Even the language imechange, hapo environment tofauti, then tangazo maalum, ngoma braggadocious, even the previous ones kuna those braggadocious ideas, kuna so special later for the album, another song that had a highlight in terms of instrumentation. But ukiangalia that sort of repetition ilikuwa na bring up ni kwa Why the Caged Bird Sings, the structuring kwa the verses anatumia the same patterns akianza the two verses. It's a sort of a bouncy kind of flow with the vibe stoppers na nilipenda how alitumia mara mbili, and then kuna the singing part, alafu kuna other sort of outros na bridges towards the end of the song. At some point ili feel draw out sana, inafaa kuwa ishakamilika, lakini the structure nilipenda vile ali structure the song na the repetition ili manage work. Thematically nimesema ngoma kama So Special and So Special and the ongea which quotes, tangazo maalum, hii idea ya kwa braggadocious na kusema vile ni lyrical, kuna the gift of God and the like. Nilikuwa na hisi
alisema gift of God, nikakumbuka gift of God. Johnny Direct. Pia kuna a leader to gift of God. Like or something close to that. It's coincidence.
Kuna
just so like
nilifikiria
sana wazo.
So hizo repetition thematically nilikuwa naziconsider as filler yenye ni unnecessary kwa the trajectory of the album, na si ati inaongeza any oomph na character and any additional elements to the narrative na vile the album ina flow. Kuna much of that feeling nikisikia hii album and the 21 songs, hata ka for me album inaanzia kwa Why the Caged Bird Sings song number 5, juu nilikuwa na feel the emotion of that song, how the instrumental ina sound, while nimesema na understand maybe the concept walikuwa na try ku go for ama neza attempt ku break down. After hiyo Nina Simone, that sample and the excerpt, alafu the feeling ya the instrumentation, nikisikia Woza ili ni excite, juu nijembe this is so different. Afrobeat. Okay, I don't know where this is going. Ilikuwa so different, so nilikuwa excited kuhusu the album, but it didn't last for long, if at all. So Why the Caged Bird Sings, hata the energy kwa the instrumentation ingekuwa such an amazing build up from your moment ya the opening song, that tungetai in studio, umesample Nina Simone, umesample Maya Angelou with that idea ya the Caged Bird. So even though nilikuwa na feel nimemention kitu ka aliwara, hizo ni ngoma na feel ako infuriated, and part of the forward that nilisoma just right there as you get to the website ndio niliona tu hiyo part ya hizi ni ngoma zilizoandika kwa during your time. And even besides that, of course utaipata kwa the album, lakini kuna kwa the Last Will and Testament, the title song, and I mention how the project na its trajectory imechange. Juu alianza akiwa na so much anger, lakini the mood ama perspective zake zimebadilika as the project imedevelop na ameendelea kuiandika. But nilikuwa na mention aliwara, and even the last song Usikimie, kisha kuna Stop What You're Doing, zinasema the same thing, na ni message that inaweza kuwa compressed into one song. na ideliver bado kile alikuwa ana intend kusema. Part of the themes as well ni themes za yes GBV, but looking at the church as perpetrators, looking at families as perpetrators, and those kinds of concerns zile ana raise. Speaking of family, nimeongelea Brothers Keeper, ina feature watoi wake ndo ana rap on the song, them being
that's a very interesting beat. Nice.
And how kukua brothers keepers for each other. So kuna these interesting ideas.
Kidogo yo ni vizuri bring up your Brothers Keeper. I wish, but like this is just more of a technical thing. I'm a Brothers Keeper.
Yeah.
Like I wish I flip kidogo.
Ikue?
Like as in equal to something close to that, like ndio ni I'm a Brothers Keeper, and then ingeni like just something close to that. I had something in my head, like mbona si.
Oh, the layering.
Unasema I'm a Brothers Keeper. Akirudia that sentence ikue like am I my Brothers Keeper, like isikue unajua like isikue just all there, because unajua like already like I feel sometimes, although this is just from a writing point of view,
yeah.
but I feel it's better kuwa na mystery in writing rather than like instead of telling you I believe this is the right answer, like I should make you question what is even like the question itself, you know.
Nakupata.
Yeah. So
na hiyo pia ni one concern that you have with the writing. Kuna idea ya reflection, hiyo concept ya wasanii ku reflect jamii. Kuna kongana the thought that you're just stating things as they are, because you know it's reflection it's the same as it is. So there is that,
not as it is, well, I would say
not again
because like
so there is that. Then no another thought that you're not only just reflecting na kuipeana as it is, that unaongeza further perspectives to whatever it is una choose kuongelea. So so nikisikia hiyo ilikuwa lacking. Juu ilikuwa na hiyo feeling ya reportage, hiyo feeling ya kuregurgitate, and therefore haina personality, and for me ilikuwa very feelingless. Na nilikuwa najiambia ni interesting that after 21 songs sikuwa na hisi chochote. Sikuwa na feel anything.
Emotion like ile
for me.
Unasikia
For me haikuwa na any emotion, and part of that iko premised on the writing, as I've stated. Na kile umesema kilinikumbusha kitu ka a page a day. You read a page a day. Kuna information na hata kucheza, so kuongelea politics and imperialists and the like. Nilikuwa nafikiria sana kuhusu that song and vile present the lyrics. Kwa hiyo ngoma pia niliongelea story ya open third eye, alikuwa ali-repeat kwa hiyo ngoma for the second time, and even such phrases they no longer have any potency.
Nakuelewa.
Ni statement iko tu. And even alifanya something that you constantly bring up when a rapper introduce a concept. So kama nizo za tadai ama ye kukuwa na something that nilipenda, ilikuwa ye kukuwa na phrases ama passages for the future, and the other line that nilipenda ilikuwa kwa arboretum ya mizani na iwota na verbs. So those bars zilikuwa highlights, but kuna an introduction of a concept, and zile concepts zenye mtu tu mention and then anaiacha hivyo. Okay, so on the surface inakaa ni kama ni kitu in depth ama something that inaweza kuwao una get, lakini ameiacha hakujakuwa na follow up
haijaona any build up,
haijaenda anywhere.
This is the thing, and then
tuendelee
let us expound. I tell you more about
so na hata hiyo concept ya a page a day, while of course people should be reading we don't, but we should be kuna hiyo idea people could still read books that misinform them.
True.
Na kuna so many books
that are zimeja misinformation
nyingi sana. So
how do you tell?
Good question.
We say
watu wako na agenda. Watu wako na a lot of agendas behind these books. So whether you think the books are even sources of truth and what not, just watu wako na agendas kibao sana. So kuna hizi moments throughout the album that hazina potency, hazina emotion, and concepts haziko developed fully. The other part that I felt that way ilikuwa kwa calm down, hiyo yenye anaficha anasema I'm about to talk to my higher self, which was a peculiar phrasing, but so ilikuwa najiuliza, okay, so who was speaking akianza hiyo ngoma and who has been speaking? Hakuna distinction. But apart from that, so ana bring Al-Shabab, MC Sharon na Decibel kuimba and rapping, and MC Sharon akisema akona ni 1 am baadaye inakuwa 3 am, and ana capture process ya creation, lakini execution ya the song ina fail ku bring out hizo personalities za Decibel, Al-Shabab na MC Sharon. Si kitu ana execute fully from start till the end, and even the execution and the delivery kama ni uimbaji and the rapping pia ina fail. And nilikuwa na feel while the idea ni great, ingekuwa more potent if ingekuwa introduced at a different segment of the album. Kile namaanisha ni tumekuwa kwa the entire album tukisikia MC Sharon, Al-Shabab na Decibel. So si ati sasa ndo introduce na ndo mna create. Mshafanya hivyo before throughout the album. So vitu kama hizo, hiyo kukuwa na meticulousness kwa the arrangement, kwa the writing, ikitu that imelack completely kwa hii album. I was getting tired kuisikiza. Nilisikia mara moja, nika-imagine we are reviewing this, so it means I have to listen to the album again ndio tufanye the review. So ilikuwa tiring. Kuna highlights kidogo kama hizo bars nimemention, ama some aspects of the instrumentation kwa some songs that managed to give you some sort of feeling, but ni very far and drawn out as compared to the overall feeling that nilipata kutoka the album. The title track in itself, The Last Will and Testament, nimesema the build up haikuwa worth it, but the song in itself, what were those roles for? Mkumbuki?
Mimi is and it's the last will and testament, so like you're going out to the band. But they like we nilichukulia ile unajihype kijua ndio inaenda ikienda, but then again hiyo ni me just trying to find meaning. So I'm not sure if that was the intention, because it can't be the intention. Because nilisikia like okay.
Juu inaanza akiongea na akisema process ya album vile imekuwa na vile alikuwa na resentment na vitu zimechange up until this point. That opening part of the song ni kama anatuongelesha as listeners, then unasikia the sonic environment ni kama ana address watu, then tunaanza kusikia those roaring sounds coming in from afar before zikuje close na verse ianze. And as this happens, inafeel kama kwa mahali ana address watu na lions zinakuja sijui because before jisoni kazi imebdishi. But before that happened, vile ilikuwa na sound.
Okay, ukisema hivyo ba
Vile ina sound. Sijui kwa jaribu. Only MC Sharon can tell us.
Yeah.
But when ilikuwa na sound na the build up, mimi nilikuwa nashanga nini na happen. Then anasema, this is my first time doing this. Doing what? Anasema hivyo before the roaring sounds ikuwe louder. And then ndio kusema anachora hii letter and I get into the rest of the song. Siku understand completely kile ina happen. You after some time kwa maybe the chorus or as you get later kwa the song tunasikia the sounds once again. Sikupata kile alikuwa ana attempt kutimiza with that idea at all. Sijui, ilikuwa very weird na unclear. Ndio alikuwa anasema haikuwa worth the build up and the song in itself. Hiyo hakuna the correlation na kile ameongelea through the entire album. So okay, now this is my last will and testament and giving us that sort of idea kwa the song. Nimeongelea the production in terms of the sounds. For me, the Say My Name was also weird.
The song
And the sample, based on what the song is about.
Because
child.
Because it's my name from there. So contextually.
So
different.
Najua kuna hiyo idea ya kusample, vocal sampling, but bado there's a way that I could translate.
Like it crossed my mind, lakini
me every time nilikuwa naisikia naikumbuka. So ilikuwa na hiyo disconnection kwangu. One thing as another aspect of the production ni besides the vocal samples kuna a lot of beat samples. Apart from that, the quality of how the beats have been mastered zilikuwa very inconsistent. Then the quality pia za vocals zake uli mention, hata ukisikia woza ikianza iko juu sana as compared to the opening song, and then ukisikia vocals zake zikikam in kwa that opening song ina feel ni a different entity na the sonic environment. Na feel ni ziko separate, na hiyo feeling ya inconsistent mixing na mastering ilikuwa all through the album. I think ni self-produced and maybe ana learn the ropes za production juu kuna line anasema amekuwa ki-produce na kuandika. You can tell that kuna inconsistencies kibao sana. One thing that besides these inconsistencies kwa the production and the writing and the concept and the flow that made this terrible for me nikisikiza, the singing was terribly off. Wow, that made me sasa siku mrefu. Yo, every time literally every song the singing iko off. Now one thing that hata you fanya kwa live performances that I noticed here, haja master technique ya kujua when to sing and when to rap and when to combine the two. So the same inaapia kwa this album. Ilikuwa kibarua and it just made this such, for me ilikuwa such a daunting listen. Ni exhaust na my experience listening to this album wasn't enjoyable. Kuna any other?
No, missing any other parts. I'm a brother skipper. Like all my brothers keep up, all my brothers keep up. As in, like I really wish ingekuwa, like I wish angefanya more layers just with that hook, and then sasa the song itself gonna like all those layers.
So you're am I my brother's keeper? I am my brother's keeper.
All my brothers keep up. Unajua like ikue because with all the braggadocio ni pia like unajua like niko feel.
Nakuelewa. Nimekuget actually.
Yeah, ingekuwa
more potent.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the album, yeah. MC Sharon. I do think that instrumental choices, knowing what sound fits what mood na what idea, is something that inaweza kuwa worked on pia. Juu beat ya ngoma ka Stop What You Doing inaongelea GBV, lakini the instrumentation translate your feeling at all. So kuna those instances that una feel kumekuwa na better choices kwa the instrumentation. Na feel alikuwa na try kufanya so much with the album na different sounds, hata kuna dancehall, kuna gengeton that sikutaja, that ili end up miss the mark. Also with trying so much key technique, end up miss the mark. Lastly, the opening ilinikumbusha album ya Very Mkali Wao.
Vile inaanza na nini? Like a quote, like a...
Inaanza na an excerpt, alafu the album I deliver.
Yeah, very...
Then the ending ikanikumbusha that same album. Juu Shadow of Death tuli review, feel free to check out. Na sijui kama unakumbuka, but song number 14 kwa hiyo album ilikuwa It's a Rap, lakini you still had a number 15 song, Can't Keep a Good Woman Down, that was 7 minutes long, that hamkumaliza kusikiza. So hapa, after the last will and testament, literally it is the last will and testament. Regurgitating message yenye shapas before. So nimeongea for long kuhusu hii album. Kama umesikiza, tuambie maoni yako kuhusu kwenye comment section. Tutashukuru sana kusikia kutoka kwako. Asante sana for watching. Kuna other reviews that you can watch if this is your first time here. Shukran sana for your time.
Yeah.